Bye. We started on time. You didn't hear a countdown because we have a producer who did a silent 3, 2, 1 fingers.
And I think that might be the only time we've done bye actually properly in sync without some kind of lag.
Yeah. But from what I understand, in Wayne's World, you actually say the first few numbers. And then the last few you don't say. So Dan actually fucked it up.
You're not allowed to nod. You're not allowed to nod.
You're not allowed to nod. Yeah. Don't nod with it. But we have Dan Barrett as guest producer today.
Look at that. Oh, can we see?
Hello, everyone.
There we go. Look at the man.
He didn't volunteer.
The legend. No,
I was press ganged into it. I was the first person to arrive.
But you may have noticed from the sound quality that we're not sat at home angry at the morning, unlike most podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder whether our decision to record on a Wednesday morning is really the most conducive for the kind of energy that we want from this.
It's weird. We managed to. I mean, we've said recently how we managed to always record at the most angriest point of our week. We've turned on the on-air switch. So if anyone outside,
look at them. They all give a shit. Look at them. They really care. We're currently competing with the excitement of Morocco knocking Portugal out. And we are losing.
And we're counting down to England's game. But we can actually... I'm worried the on-air switch will stop bar staff coming in with orders because we're in the bar. We can order straight to
not only is this like incredibly professional setup that we're not used to, which we've taken loads of photos of in order to understand what to do next time, but we also have the ability to get beer delivered, which... I think makes this probably the greatest room that's ever been built.
And when we walked in, when I walked in earlier, she had to clean up the table because it was sticky. And I'm assuming that's beer and not... It wasn't...
What was the podcast before us?
My dad wrote a porno or anything like that. I'm hoping it's not...
Why would the table be sticky when someone's talking about their dad having written a porno?
That's a good question. But that came to your mind rather than mine.
No.
Right. I've got a sexy dad. What can I say?
Okay, you've got to...
So we're going to order each other drinks. It's free reign on buying the other person. But to start us off, Dan is having a daughter next month. And he specifically asked...
What, a baby?
True, a baby.
He's having a little baby.
Oh, sorry. Dan, it's a girl!
Oh, is it?
I don't know. Is this the reveal?
This is the reveal.
Imagine if you're in that kind of fucked up relationship, your gender reveal is David revealing that to you suddenly.
And I've
actually
dropped my trousers and tucked it in. That's the reveal. That's how.
Oh my God.
That's how I've revealed it. So it makes a lot of.
I would like to apologise to anyone listening or watching this or who is just generally come across this by accident. I can't get the thing on my phone. How do I?
It's called Brewdog now.
Brewdog now.
You might have to log into the Brewdog Wi-Fi to get Wi-Fi here.
Oh, okay, look at this. This makes for great podcasting.
It does. So Dan has asked us to ask the do-badders to name...
I'm not sure I remember this, but go on.
He's so drunk already. He's absolutely... Can't even remember.
Name his daughter.
So, come up with the most and so I'm going in the app to order Jody a drink, and cocktails. They only have one cocktail, and it's not on. So
it doesn't seem like a cocktaily place, I've got to say.
It doesn't. I always liked Brewdog because they had a real range of drinks, and so you can go into guest bottles and cans. They have 2 drinks in the whole place. So
really?
Yeah, I thought it'd be more than that. I mean,
Brexit,
yes,
probably.
They couldn't get him in. So, but we're also joined by Ryan in the studio, who is decided, because he is out for love tonight, is the word on the street.
Out for love?
Out for love. He has booked his boudoir at the location of mine and Briggs's first ever date. Yes.
Oh my God.
Can I just say, my wife ever listens to this, all lies on you.
And if she doesn't listen to it?
Yeah, carry on.
If you didn't hear that, there was some off-air comments from Ryan. He's saying, yeah, go for it.
He did.
It's like we're on bloody Radio 4 or something. Look at this. And now, audio description. And now, both Jody and David are looking at each other, perplexed.
Dogger 7. Southwesterly.
That's the shipping forecast for all of our international listeners who don't understand. That wasn't just David putting in a request.
That was for Ryan.
It's
That's
also
why
the South Downs Trail forecast.
But I've decided to bring Jody a present for this. We haven't met up in a while.
Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Yes,
Coach Hellard.
Coach Hellard.
So what is this? Is this a little? This looks like a packet of cards or something.
It is a packet of cards. So for the wedding, we ordered 300 packets of cards. It was going to be 150, but it's kind of the same price as 300. So we decided to get 300 before a lot of people decided not to come to the wedding. So we had a lot of extra cards that turned up 2 days after the wedding.
Oh, this is what it was the thing that you were waiting for.
Yes. So I wouldn't say it was ideal timing. And these are the cards with some faces you may recognise.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's got to be to the camera, surely.
Can you see that? Oh, look at that. That is I mean, it's a lovely moment, but it is sullied by the fact of what you're wearing. Actually, that makes the tops look better than they actually were on the on the real day.
The cards,
wait a minute. Was that Briggsy's time?
That was Brigsy's time. Yeah, because that's when she crossed the line. There's detail. So we've
That kind of level of detail.
for the Kings, we've done moments from Briggsy, and bloody hell, there's a drink on this for £17.55 for a beer.
What?
For a beer.
What the fuck's going on there?
Oh, so see, we've had Briggsy's face. Briggsy loves to play football. So she's playing
that makes
football
sense. But what are
with
you
a Scotch
wearing?
roll. Sorry, Scotch egg. And I'm wearing an outfit that I've worn before for races. You know my gold.
Oh, it's your
top.
gold, like, yeah.
And this is and then I'm holding. It's the beerathon. It's the combination of the two. You see, so she's kicking a Scotch egg. So there's a lot of design going in there. So I thought I'd get you those as a nice,
lovely.
thank you for coming to the wedding, basically.
Oh no.
Yeah, and the awkward thing is that we had 4 ushers booked, and I suddenly realised I should have invited Jody as an usher. So we invited Jody as an usher, but we'd already had the cards made. So Jody's the only usher who's not got a picture in.
Oh, okay. Okay, right, okay. So you've kind of given it to me as almost a fuck you.
Buddy,
I just want to give you this, just to show you excluded.
Yes, exactly.
There's more of you in place. Is that the snowshoeing championships?
Yeah, absolutely. Snowshoeing world champs. Boom.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's got it all. Right, I'm ordering you a draft. The drink's going in. It's going to cost me. This is all business expense, by the way. So anything that comes up for my accountant tonight was ordered while we were on air.
We're actually going to have to do some kind of bad boyathon or do badderathon in order to raise funds for the podcast, because we've got a situation where we've basically got the bad boy running club, which has about 50 grand in the account that you're not allowed to spend on anything other than like promoting the membership, which no one knows how to spend the money. And then all the while the podcast is basically running on fumes.
Oh, we've got it. We've got a guest coming in.
Oh, look at that.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. What's his name?
You always ask. What's
Have
his
you
name?
made sure that you actually know him this
No,
time?
I'm not sure.
David keeps inviting people. I don't know.
Confident. I'm absolutely do better. Through and
What
through.
you have to do, get them to introduce themselves. Everyone that comes in, we introduce themselves and tell them one fact about themselves. Do we have a roving mic?
No, but you can easily swing round David's and have them
on
stand
your
They
lap.
there.
can sit on
your
Dan's
lap.
lap.
On
How are
your
you,
lap.
sir?
That's all right.
So you need to introduce yourself to the podcast and tell them one fact about
Yeah, you on
yourself.
air?
One fact about myself.
Yeah. Name.
1 second.
I'm Jimmy. One fact, I'm Scottish, so I'm supporting France tonight.
Ooh. Do you know why?
Oh, yeah.
He's pissed off because actually bagpipes are from France.
Ah.
True fact. Yeah. Can you imagine that? It's like finding out the Queen's German or something. it would absolutely be a dagger to the heart. Be horrific.
Oh, talking about that.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Harry and Meghan documentary yet?
No. I mean, it's high on my list.
Is it really? Or you just want to say that's it?
Really? It would break Briggs's heart if she would.
Oh, she's a proper monarchist, isn't she?
is,
So
yes.
just out of...
And racist.
She's...
It's more the latter, but I forgot. She's interviewed someone who listens to the podcast, so she told me off for saying stuff about her. So it wasn't Briggsy who's racist. It was me. Was that better? I take it you've watched it.
Oh, I don't know if you are you going to watch it. I mean, there's no spoilers really.
Yeah. What's
there's
the
no
twist?
spoilers. There's no twists. It turns out that British press are awful. It's shit being in the royal family, and generally people are racist.
Okay.
I don't think we learned anything new from that, but there was some nice bits there. Just I like the reaction that everyone's having to it, because I put on my Facebook feed that I really enjoyed it, and then people are just laughing, like they think I'm being sarcastic. I'm like, no, I genuinely liked it, and then people are like, haha, they're very good. No.
Do you know why? It's because for a change, you've actually broken from the viewpoint of Piers Morgan. That's what they find it so funny.
Oh my god.
Have you ordered me a drink yet?
I haven't ordered. I can't get on. Look, I can't get on.
I'm empty.
Look. You don't need
It's
to go
all
to the
about
bar
it's the
here.
speed of.
You don't need to go to the bar here.
Yeah, we are rude.
No. This is they bring it to you. If you can work it.
Now I've got a list of stories in case we ran out of things to say, which we already have about 5 minutes in. Which in some ways is no great surprise. So we haven't spoken yet about potential future Mrs. Hellard that wasn't to be, Catherine Ryan.
Potential future Mrs. Hellard that wasn't to be. That's a
Catherine
mouthful.
Ryan.
Catherine. Oh, well, I tell you what, everyone else does talk about her. It's like having Catherine watch, isn't it, on the podcast, on the Facebook group, because everyone is monitoring every moment that she does anything for the slender hope that somehow she's going to mention you.
Well, she.
Are you the predator she was talking about?
This is why it's become quite topical. So if you don't know who Catherine Ryan is, you're probably not from the UK, because she is the highest profile female comedian over here, I'd say. Yeah. And she interviewed with Louis Theroux, who is the highest profile interviewer in the UK.
Highest profile middle class person as well. Is it lower upper class or higher middle
You think
class?
he's the highest profile?
Oh, definitely.
Lower. More than Ben Fogle. Bear Grylls.
You definitely
Harry. Harry from Harry and Meghan. I think he's been bumped out. He's been bumped off since he lost his title.
I don't know. I think there's something about Louis. Libby watched the Louis Theroux thing with Stormzy. She goes, he doesn't really ask many questions. I'm like, because that's not what he's about. He's about creating a feeling, isn't he?
It's about creating a feeling.
Is he? Well, he's not fucking Paxman, is he?
He's not making love.
No, but he is. But he creates a feeling. He allows you to get an insight into what someone is like without actually asking questions or doing anything insightful.
But you know, that's a sales technique and an interview technique. You just don't talk. Oh, we've got a knock at the door because something controversial is happening.
Yeah. Oh, we've been taken off the air. They've heard we're talking about Harry and Meghan.
It sounds like there's a chance that. Oh boy, there's no Mr. President. Oh, this is that is a good question. I'll have to quickly check. This has not gone according to plan. So instead,
Why don't you add in the beer that Jody couldn't order at the same time?
Oh yeah, I
this
still
is a
can't order the
good
beers.
idea. So can we go for
Order 2 of them.
a bottle? Oh no, now the internet's not working. It's all falling apart. My network's freestyle. We're happy to go with whatever you think is a good equivalent.
Do you want 2 of them?
He's gone. Wow, Mr. President's already out. I did order you the strongest beer on the
Oh, it's not the one that tastes like whiskey that they're really
Yeah.
strong.
No,
Like Lee Stewart Evans.
It was £9 a half, and I got you a. I got you a pint. It's business expense.
Well,
I'm sure I'm making money on that.
I want
somehow.
to know what happened. So she spoke to Louis Theroux.
So she spoke very publicly about there being a well-known predator on the entertainment scene, and obviously Dubaders leaps to conclusions that it was moi. And
We said, no, they said entertainment scene.
exactly.
So
That's how I got away with it.
immediately
That's how I
ruling
got
us
away
out.
with it. She knew that my behaviour wasn't newsworthy, but then she didn't say who it was because everyone was worrying. Well, she was saying their legal team are too good, and
Ooh.
she's called him out on it publicly to his face in a TV show, which was a roast battle, and she said it as a roast repeatedly, and but then it was taken as as a joke. But
The
then,
Comedy Central roast battle.
yes,
Yeah, because she is the judge in that, isn't she? So if she's the judge, she'll be. Oh, God, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
and-
someone well known then.
Yes, and Twitter has been very entertaining in how they've responded to this. So, one person mentioned how they used their Russell Hobbs brand of kettle to get a cup of tea and watch the film Predator
Right.
as a way of. I mean, I don't know how that would relate to this in any way, but supposedly that was linked to the conversation in some way. So yeah, it's quite a weird situation where she was saying that these previous diddlers were all known,
Yeah.
and Weinstein, Savile, and yet no, it didn't come out, and now it's weird because that was the case with this person, but now it is kind of out, except their initials were also used in another oh wow, this is quick. Oh boy, they've gone for 2. Oh, it means we're getting 2 beers, which means I'm getting the evil that
The evil that you
I've
see.
suggested for Jody as well. But so the individual. Oh, thank you very much, Ryan. The individual
It
involved.
does look thick, doesn't it? Bloody hell.
Oh,
Look
cheers,
at that.
my man.
Cheers.
Oh, what do you think it is? Yeah, I could. That tastes like one of those drinks you can drink.
That
very
doesn't
quickly.
taste
as strong as I know it will
as
be.
strong. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That tastes okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you that all day. So,
Oh.
but then some other individuals, had
He's Scottish. That'll be nothing to him.
some other. So some people on Twitter had mentioned the initials of
Yeah.
the individual involved, but the initial involved are RB apparently, and that unfortunately
Ron
is
Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy, Rob Beckett, Rob Brydon. So actually, it was quite unhelpful to certain people's reputations who may or may not be the one.
I do. The thing is, sometimes when like these predators like come out, they does surprise me because I just think, you know,
Rob
you
Harris.
look at them. Yeah, Rob. I mean, that was a paedophile. That's not quite a predator, is it? That's much worse. Yeah, so like, you're quite surprised sometimes that some of them are. You think, oh, surely that none of their predatory stuff works. Are they people that have tried to be predatory, or they've succeeded in being predatory?
I don't know that much about it, to be fair.
Don't you?
I'm prepared to make it up though.
That's what the legal teams are standing by.
So apparently, the actor Mr. Muscle tried but failed.
Mr. Muscle actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the guy from Sillet Brang, he nailed it.
did he?
Yeah. So,
Which one of those was Mo sponsored by? Was it Mr. Muscle? Or was it?
Yeah,
Were you
Mr.
trying to
Muscle.
pin? Were you trying to pin it on
So
him?
you're well. We're moving on. So
That reminds me of something.
yes,
Have you tried using any AI art? Because at the moment, I don't know if anyone else has seen that on their social feeds. Everyone's doing AI self-portraits. It's like the most egotistical fucking thing. Oh look, here we are. Here's me as a spaceman. Here's me riding a unicorn. Actually, I say that I did try and feed our faces into it and have a picture of us riding unicorns, and I couldn't fucking make it work. But what I did do.
so you load up your face.
You load up an image, and then
Yeah.
what you do is you enter like commands, and it's supposed to create use your image. You can create things different way. I don't think I'm using the right kind of program or whatever because I've not been particularly successful at it. But one thing I did do slightly unsuccessfully was they had this extend option on it, and it had the
Oh,
picture
hello!
of us.
I hear you.
No.
I hear you. Finally.
Well, you can extend a picture.
How does that help
Oh dear. It was.
So you're
yeah,
saying you
it's-
want
it
people
was
to do this of you and submit them? To
No,
the podcast?
what I'd like to do is that people. So what I did with it is it was the picture of us on the Eurostar on the way to Beer Lovers drinking thing, and I extended it. I couldn't think of anything, so I said, add Mo Farah getting angry at David and Jody, and it came up with something which was quite close.
Yeah.
But it misunderstood what David and Jody was, and then had a bloke in a suit next to him, which was a bit weird. I wanted to show you the picture because it's the weirdest thing that you've ever seen.
And was Mo behind the door?
No, but
guy
with Bell. No, but he was getting angry with us. But what I want Do Badders to do is that I'm sure that there's lots of people who are much more technically savvy than I am. If they, I want to see the best example of Bad Boy running AI art, because I think there's some good ones, and and that possibly could become our podcast artwork and go forward.
I'm going to put it out there.
You always do
on air that we'll do a vote within the group, and whichever artwork gets the most votes becomes the podcast covering photo for a month.
Oh my God. There's one thing that you always should know. Never ever put anything to the vote in the British public, especially the Do Badders.
Yeah. Turns out it's going to be a picture of Boris.
Is it?
But what have I got on my list to talk about? So, we've probably mentioned some running in there, right? I guess. We last time, that hasn't come out yet, I talked about how one athlete is potentially going to be banned for running with her boyfriend.
Oh, you did talk about that, yes. Is it you?
Seems that would be... No,
I know you're the boyfriend.
Yes.
You're running with your boyfriend.
So that's the trouble. So apparently, and I didn't know this rule, but you're not meant to train with banned athletes. Did you know that?
You're not allowed to train with banned athletes.
Yeah. It
What?
seems that...
Then how did the Oregon Project work?
I don't think any of them are banned.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Technicality.
But, this is... And maybe this is... It says it's UCAD, so UK anti-doping. So I don't know if this is global. But it's saying...
Did you know that? Do you know that? Did you know that? That's a pretty no all round.
And all
Bear
three
in
of
mind,
them.
none of us are professional athletes.
But what about your partners?
Are any of our partners professional athletes?
No?
That's a no all round.
That's a no all round as well. Thus proving our point.
It's very hard to be a professional athlete when you've been banned. That's what I'm saying.
I've been banned from being a professional athlete. That's why I choose not to fucking do anything.
Is that why people take drugs? Just so they're like, well,
Yeah, exactly.
now I've got an excuse.
Quartz. Oh yeah, I'm taking paracetamol. Quartz.
Oh, yeah.
I can't compete now.
Had a hangover last night. Oh, not again. So, UK anti-doping, UCAD, are investigating whether its rules have been breached. I haven't actually read any of this article. I've just put the headline in.
Don't worry, you can see that there's no change there from a normal podcast.
Yes.
I've only read the headline. Let's go through the rest of the article right now.
So what I like about this, there's a few things already that I'm picking up. So her boyfriend, British sprinter Victor Huragu, was that's Victoria. Sorry, Victoria Huragu.
Which one's the boyfriend and which one's the girlfriend? I think we need to establish some basic facts.
So
to this.
Victoria's Christina Huragu's sister.
Right.
Christine.
Sister.
Yes. Yeah. So she is.
So not boyfriend and girlfriend.
No. She is in a long-term relationship with a runner who's serving a 3-year.
Oh, okay.
So it was announced in April that Antonio Infantino, born in England but switched to running for Italy 5 years ago,
Infantino. There's a surname that's familiar, isn't it?
and was banned for failing a drugs test. This is interesting because when I was
Yeah, head of FIFA. Infantino.
maybe. But interestingly, and I can't read the whole article because it's Times. Interestingly, he switched to.
I love we use a paywalled article as the basis for a discussion in this one. I'm sure there are no important facts behind the paywall at this point.
So they've been in a relationship for 10 years, and they went to Willesden Sports Centre in northwest London.
Yeah.
So it therefore implies that if I read the rest of the article,
You can get drugs there.
that you cannot train with someone who's done for.
So wait a minute. So they've been going out for 10 years.
And he was banned.
And he was banned.
And they've been to a sports centre together and trained together. And that therefore means that she may be...
Yeah, but how do they know? How do they know that they've trained together?
Somehow, a reporter working for The Times watched and took a series of photographs.
What the fuck? What? It just happened to be at Willesden Sports Centre? Do Times reporters hang around there?
I mean, what else they did?
I mean, it's not McDonald's at Kennington, is it? It's
True.
not the-
Yeah, it's not the hotspot. But interestingly, so he switched to representing Italy, got banned for drugs. When I was at Run Fest Run, a very well-known presenter of sports, when I asked him, who do you think is doing drugs, suggested a sprinter that wasn't this person from Italy. Which to me suggests if you've got two sprinters from Italy, one of which has been done for doping, one of which someone else has suggested their performance has massively increased before the last Olympics.
Yeah.
You've got a problem in the country, right? Is Italy the new Kenya?
Is it?
That's what we're...
Fucking hell, there's not...
Is it anywhere with good coffee?
Wow, there's the theme, isn't it? Good coffee.
Yeah. Where else is good coffee?
What does coffee have in it?
Shit! Yeah. Although in a way, yeah, it does. Yeah. What? No. Yeah. That's a good point, Dan. That's a good point.
We've also got the opportunity to use some sounds. I think we could have used a sound there. Go on, Dan.
Yeah.
Pop in a sound.
Maybe the viewer or listener at home is having a good laugh.
See, I can't hear any of the sound effects, and everyone, well, Jody can, and our other guest can't hear either. So we're assuming that was either a boo or a cheer.
Feel free to use that. Feel free to use that as much as you want, because you can't hear that.
Do they have any beer-themed sound effects?
No.
What's a beer-themed sound effect?
There's not a extremely wet vomit. There's a laughter, applause, sad trombone.
Sad trombone. That's
Rimshot
your trail name.
Sad trombone.
Sad trombone.
I like that.
Or rim shot.
Yeah. Well, so do we think it's fair that you shouldn't be allowed to train with your boyfriend?
What difference does it make?
To the individual?
Well, no. What difference does it make? So, if you train with someone who's been convicted of a drugs cheat,
I guess the assumption is that it's actually it probably has come about because the UKAD have decided that it's just better not to be associated with drugs cheats because it creates difficulties.
They're trying to split a couple up, are they?
They are.
They're home wreckers.
So if
Is that what they do now?
If anyone likes to date
Is that why
Victoria,
they came round CFTB's house?
Yes, his wife dobbed him in.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go dob him in, so he's not allowed to come near me ever again.
Yes, clever.
So actually, this is quite useful, isn't it? This is quite a useful tool. If you're in a relationship, and they insist on running with you all the time, and perhaps you thinking, I don't really want to run with them anymore.
Buy a caffeine bullet for them.
Get a caffeine bullet for them. I like the way that you cunningly slip that in there. It's like a master of marketing and sales.
It was. Although it was also implying it gets you done for drugs. So now,
Stephen Bartlett's investment looking very dodgy there.
yes, indeed.
David, will you please get off the podcast?
Have we spoken about pushing out as much shit before a race to help?
I don't think we have. We love Alex.
What's his name? Been on the podcast. Rotenjaw, one of the best running journalists there is out there. Probably the best, actually. So he's written for.
Could someone do some quick research there as to who we've interviewed?
He's written for.
I got to say it's Hutchins. Is it Alex? That's kind of.
Alex Hutchins.
Is it Alex Hutchins? Yeah.
Oh, Alex.
Is that it? Do I remember that? Look at that.
So he's written for Outside magazine again, which seems to be the best.
That is the one.
Yeah.
The one.
All the stuff from them seems to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how a couple of things that I thought was quite interesting, and I've already reached out to the person they're talking about. He was saying that he finds the best people to almost observe what they're doing in terms of their training, in terms of their strategy, and not the people who are proper pro.
Right.
Like pro. It's almost the people who are between normal athletes and that level.
So the ones they're trying harder, they're being more experimental, or
yeah,
or
they're
what's
being
the, what's that,
exactly.
is that the idea?
They're being more experimental, but they're almost trying to provide. They're trying to interpret what is seen as best strategy, but then actually find practical applications for,
Right, okay.
for people that aren't necessarily training at a high level. Although, to be fair to this individual, who Jennifer Saigo, she the Toronto Raptors basketball team. I mean, it sounds like it's quite a big dig on them, isn't it? Are they a good team?
Toronto Raptors. I don't know.
I mean, I just assumed a Toronto team at anything other than ice hockey would be terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just assume it is.
Yeah.
How many Canadian listeners do we have? Do you know?
I think they're probably our 7th biggest market.
7th biggest market. Okay, Canadians. What is your what's the state of Canadian basketball? There must be a lot of Canadians in the NBA, isn't there?
Don't know.
Yeah, I reckon there is.
Yeah. Well, let's go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're huge.
So
huge.
what? Yeah. What's the basketball league? What other sports do they do? Apart from whale, do they kill whales? Do they still
they're
do
seal
that?
beating.
Seal beating.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. That's why Seal couldn't go on tour. But anyway, sorry, terrible. But one of the things she was saying, lots and lots of things, quite interesting, to do with periodization, your diet, and actually, what I thought.
Come on, I want some specific lessons here. Come on.
Specific lessons. She was saying that actually, if you're training crazy mileage, you should probably, on the days that you're building this huge mileage, huge intensity, you probably should cut out vegetables and fruit because they're not calorific enough. They're not calorie dense enough.
So wait a minute. I think it was on podcast episode 1 or 2
Yeah.
where we absolutely ripped into Real Buzz for saying do not eat broccoli before an endurance race, and you're now telling us that is exactly the right advice.
Bring back Real Buzz.
Bring back Real Buzz. Do you know? I was in was it Piccadilly Circus, and there is a closed down Real Buzz in Piccadilly Circus. It's like it's where it used to be. It's just there. It's like a
Their
monument.
offices, or?
A monument. I think it was a shop. It was just a monument to their failure.
We need
just
to steal their
always
sign.
there.
We need to. But we need to go there as part of a tour. It's almost
Tour of
like
London.
yeah, it's almost like a
pilgrimage.
holy,
A pilgrimage to Real Buzz.
So she was saying
So
that.
don't eat fruit and veg.
Yeah.
Why? What's the
if you're-
thinking? Sugar?
Because no, she's just saying that actually it's so important to get enough calories if you're. And this would be if you're training kind of 70 miles plus a week.
Yeah.
But the times you really need calories, most fruit and veg isn't dense enough in calories.
Yeah.
And so
So what's she suggesting?
you feel the other things you'd expect, your rices, your pastas, deep fried Mars, but maybe not that bit. But she
One for you there.
but the trouble is if you have a lot of vegetables and fruit, you feel like you're eating a lot.
Yeah.
And she was saying actually a lot of ultra runners post runs would have these like big salads and feel like they're I'm really.
The fuck has a salad after a big run? Who does she know? I
It's
don't know. Have you ever had a big salad after a run, or have you stuffed a fucking whole Domino's down in about 3 seconds?
I'm often my stomach's just rubbish after a big run, but then when my appetite comes back, I do just want to eat carbs.
Who eats a salad after a run? It's like when people go, "Oh yeah, I did a run, and then I treated myself. I had like a Mars bar." You're like, "What, one? You had one Mars bar after a run, or you had a whole packet?" Don't get it.
Yeah, true.
What do you have like after an ultra, if you can remember that far back?
Just beers. Normally go out, right? You go out.
Yeah, you go out.
Because at the end of an ultra, you are so buzzed off your tits on caffeine that you just go all night, and your body burns whatever you put in it.
I've never finished a race and been so burnt out on caffeine.
No, buzzed on caffeine,
Buzzed.
not burnt out,
Buzzed on caffeine.
like almost tripping balls.
Oh no.
But so that's one of the things she was saying, that actually you on your rest days, that's when you have your salads, your good foods. But when
Who has a fucking salad? I don't understand. What part of any kind of running regime before or after a run involves a salad? Two badders. Who has fucking salads as like a main meal?
This is the vegan speaking.
This is a vegan
Yeah.
speaking. I'm like, salad? Exactly.
all you can eat is salad. And he doesn't eat salad.
Salad, but it's not like it's not part of of any kind of training regime.
But like you'd
It's
have
just American salad. American salads aren't quite the same.
Yeah,
American
true.
salad is like a bloody hog roast with 3 bits of lettuce on it. That's how
true.
they define it as a
Smothered
salad.
in.
Smothered in
Canadian salad, maybe.
Canadian salad.
But one of the
that
things-
sounds rude, doesn't it? It sounds like a euphemism. Canadian salad. You had Canadian salad?
That's an entry on Urban Dictionary, I believe.
But one of the things she says is, if you really want to be light on race day, if you cut down on the amount of fibre you're eating the 2 days prior, a lot of your weight is from the time it takes for food to pass through your lower intestines. And that's because the fibre takes longer to break down.
Right.
And so if you cut your fibre, you just poo out all your shit. And you're like...
You poo out your shit, people. That's the proper medical, technical
you sort
definition.
your shit out.
You poo out your shit.
And you're pounds...
If you're pissing out your shit, you are fucked.
Yeah, true. That's gonna. But you're apparently it loses you about a pound in weight, which
Wait a minute. Okay, let's. I want to hear specifics here. So, what she's saying, to summarise, is don't have fibre because fibre slows down the.
Poo hole.
Would you stop interrupting with childish words?
I'm quoting from Alex.
She said poo hole, did she?
She
Did she
did.
say poo hole? Is that
No,
an
she
actual
said-
word?
She said your bumhole mouth.
The bumhole mouth.
Yeah. She said. I mean,
Rude, isn't she?
she's got a PhD, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
a PhD in rudeness?
She does.
Yeah, in
She does.
childishness.
Yeah.
So what you're saying? Right, let's give some practical things. So reduce how long before a race? Reduce fibre. What, a couple of days before
Couple
the
of days
race?
before,
So
yeah.
in order basically to clean out your lower intestine,
Yeah.
and so because that's where the majority of shit is held.
Well, some people in their mouth
Some people in their mouth. Some
Yeah.
people have shit in their mouth.
just talk
Like who?
shit.
They. I mean,
But yeah, so
it's like the hypocrisy.
clear out the base, clear out the
Right. So don't have fibre and don't eat fucking salads. That's the advice. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone was doing that already.
Oh, you
And
eat
that made it into Outside magazine, did it?
There's yeah, no, it's
It
good.
took
'cause
Alex Hutchinson's like skills to uncover that kind of
a lot of
advice.
carbs has fibre, because if you have brown rice, for example, got
Who
fibre.
has brown rice, for fuck's sake? Brown rice is only invented for middle class parents to try and get their kids to eat something that has like slight nutritional value in. No one eats brown rice out of choice.
Your kids eat brown rice?
They don't eat brown rice. They refuse to. I've said, if she gives it to you, refuse. No one eats brown rice and fucking salads. This is unbelievable. So, right, okay, go
I'm
on.
here trying to help you.
I don't need help because I'm not doing any of those things anyway.
True. That's true. That's a good point.
I've got a bigger question.
Go on.
What runner has any problem going number 2 on race day? Like,
No, it's-
everyone's just like going to the Portaloo and then immediately join in the queue again.
It's not the fact that you won't go to number 2. It's the fact that you'll just be holding some back.
Oh, so you're losing race weight.
Yeah,
You're making
losing
race weight.
race weight.
Oh, do you know
Yeah,
what?
so you start a pound lighter.
I think we're talking about a very, very slim percentage of people that's going to make a difference.
It's like that MMA fighter who recently cut weight by cutting all his hair off.
Did he have long
He
dreads?
was
before?
like 100 grams over, so he just buzzed his head.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
I like
good.
that. Although 100 grams of hair, that's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had 100 grams of hair. Like, if you add all the hair up I've ever grown in my life, it
You
comes
should
to
have
100
sold that
grams.
off.
Yeah.
That'd be a good charity auction, right?
Not kind of charity auction I want to bid in, but yeah.
Just cut a kidney out.
Talking about cutting kidneys out, trail pursuits are back.
Oh, I made a joke the first time he said this, and I said I'd save it for on the podcast.
So Trail Pursuit, just have a quick overview here. So Trail Pursuit are the company that ran a ultra. It wasn't an ultra, no, it's a trail race in the Lake District, and it was loads of fanfare. I'm not going to say fire festival, but loads of fanfare. You
Woodstock
know,
99?
beautifully produced. And what happened was, it was very much marketed as your first trail race. First trail race, nice and easy.
I mean, it would be your first.
Get a
and
load.
your last.
Well, it could have been. It could have been a lot of people's last. If there was a single way of repelling people from ever running trails again, this was the race that did it. Because what they did is they had to change the route at last minute, and they changed it from what was a seemingly, quite a simple route to something that was incredibly technical.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly long, but people who thought they were going to be out there for a couple of hours.
It was a half.
Yeah, well, it was a half.
Yeah.
But half on like technical trails.
It's not longer.
Well, it's not longer, but it's harder, isn't it?
Okay. Yes, true.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of anger around this, and I think they did the usual. Oh, we're a small business.
So
bullshit.
I think the half took 4 to 5 hours, from what I recall.
45 hours.
40.
which is yeah, exactly. It took a long time. People were out a lot longer than they thought. Which if you've never done a trail race before,
but this was, and the marathon was the half looped. So you're looking at, I think people are out for 9, 10, 11, 12.
It was just ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous. People were out for ridiculous amount. There was a lot of anger. They tried to cover it over. They basically said, "There's no fucking way you're getting your money back." The big thing that people were talking about was the fact that they hadn't thought about the runners, the way it had been marketed. It's a London-based company as well. Bloody Londoners coming up here, going over there.
Deleted Facebook
comments, all sorts of stuff. Well, they're back with another race.
Good news.
What was the joke you made that you've just come up with?
Dying in Dartmoor.
Dying in Dartmoor. I'm like,
Yes.
actually, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Because what they are now doing, they're now doing another race in the southwest. And I was like, and they were selling it as like relatively flat, kind of quite easy and things like that. And I was like, is any of it along the southwest like coastal path? And I think people are saying, I think some of it is. I'm like, could you think of anything this is less flat than southwest? Now I haven't bothered checking whether it is, so it might not be. But that's the difficulty, isn't it? Like, would you trust them? Would you trust them with both the way that they handle their courses?
I think it's less, would I trust them, or would I want to give my business to a company that have that history?
Yeah.
Because there's an element of, I mean, we speak that being in Brewdog.
yeah, we'd never been those hypocrites. And the next podcast we're doing is from Qatar.
It is. Turns out we've got a whole stadium to ourselves.
Exactly. No, that's the thing.
They don't know what else to do with them. We'll be interviewing David Beckham.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Love David Beckham.
Yeah.
So Trail Pursuit. So I'd like to know what do do-badders think? Will you be attending that event?
But more interestingly, say this event gets a good reputation, would you do the next one?
The third one.
Would you do the one, like, at what point is there
The trust back.
fair dues, or is there ever? Has that relationship been broken? Do you go back to your ex, basically?
This also goes back to one of your previous questions where you were saying, what is the chance of being hospitalised that you'd like to have for a race?
You have to have. The thing is, I
The peril scale.
This is an important element.
Oh, wow.
Look at this.
I didn't even know these were ordered.
Who ordered these?
Would you like to join the podcast for a little bit?
I would, but currently won't.
Oh.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
we should go and order an interview at the bar. She wanted to be on it.
she did want to be on it. I mean, I don't know if she said yes, but everything about her expression said no.
Yeah, that was.
Which is worrying that you can't recognise that, I've got to say.
To be honest, I took on this unrelated. I
Must
took on the
have happened
persona of
before.
Russell Brand. I don't know why I'd choose him as a. I don't know why that would be the person I'd be. But yeah. So would you? Is there an element of, because I wouldn't go to if I don't like a race series.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
For me. Done.
Yeah, but what happens? What about UTMB?
Done.
They've become the Nestle, haven't they? They've become the Unilever of races. Like, no matter what you do, you're doing the UTMB race, whether you like it or not.
But imagine joining Nestle and you're like, oh my God, it's so fun. I'd be working for this multinational with Kit Kat. All right, everyone hates me because of babies dying in Africa in the 70s. I was born in 1996. That will happen to people, right?
Yes, it does.
And that's pretty weird, where there's probably no individual still involved with Nestle. who were involved in the history of it.
No.
So it's that whole question: if a ship changes a plank each day as it crosses the Atlantic, and it reaches America with every piece of wood
Go on.
switched,
Classical reference.
is it still the same?
That is the ship of Theseus.
Amazing!
There we go.
I didn't even know it was that a
Oh,
name.
no, we talked about this before.
And what's the conclusion?
The thing is, a better example is the Only Fools and Horses example, where he says, "Oh, I've had this broom for 30 years, but I've changed the head twice and the stick 4 times." Trigger, yeah, that's it.
Had this
Broom.
Oh, broom. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we're comparing that to Nestle.
Well, would you ever want to give your money to a business where the organisers are still the same?
But the thing is, are we talking about the fact that that's a good point. Yeah, like the proximity is higher.
Yeah, but also there's an element of you want to give your.
But
money.
I think they've changed the race. I think they've changed like the race director or the race route chooser or
route chooser.
Route chooser.
That sounds like. Where do you want to go? There. Yeah. It's almost like he rolls the dice.
That sounds like that's how they do it now. That was the problem. That's what they do before.
So, Dubaz, is anyone signed up? But
did you sign up for the previous one? Will you sign up again? Did you not sign up for the previous one? Have you signed up for this one? Will you still do it?
But also, which other races or organisations will you never do because you think, fuck those guys because of X, Y, and Z? Because there'll be some out there, right?
Yeah,
You just
Portsmouth Coastal Marathon. Fuck those guys for having a marathon in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Is
Well,
that- yeah, I mean, you.
I mean, we're still popping on
Sorry.
it about that, aren't we?
Sorry.
Yeah. Hometown, no.
How do you feel about you? Like, go on, let's get there. Come on, let's get
Never
there.
run it. Never run it. Never tried.
Come on. Like, we need to say. So, how is Edinburgh Marathon perceived by residents?
Everyone loves it.
They do they?
Which baffles me.
They're proud of their marathon.
right,
It's not
right.
actually. It's
Are they
only
aware that most of it is in Edinburgh?
If you're
Yeah.
from
That's what they love about it. Yeah, they're not clogging up our bloody streets.
East Lothian seen as being Edinburgh.
No, not at all.
And so,
But everyone loves Edinburgh Marathon.
Oh, they like the kudos. They don't want the disruption.
are East Lothians bitter because they're not given official recognition?
Can't comment. I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. They're not people. They're not. We don't even consider them as people. Why else that scum their opinion?
Interesting. And in terms of Edinburgh,
Because your issue with Edinburgh, let's remind everyone what the issue with Edinburgh. Your issue with Edinburgh was they just randomly decided to cut half the race while people were on it, and then you single-handedly stopped Accenture from sponsoring the Edinburgh Marathon. It
Yeah.
destroyed their corporate sponsorship chances.
basically, yeah. But no, they created a course. So, how would you you know Edinburgh better than we do?
Yeah.
And I've been down the Royal Mile. I've run at the
Been down the Royal Mile again, another euphemism.
Call me, Megan. Call me. Sorry, she's not Royal anymore. How would you describe the route if you were to, if you say you'd met a mate from school who was from Edinburgh, and you were like, "Oh, mate, what's the route of the Edinburgh Marathon?" If you were to describe it in a way to try and belittle the route selection,
It just runs all the way out of Edinburgh
Basically,
and then a little bit back again.
they love it. People in Edinburgh love it because they leave the city as quickly as possible.
No roads are closed
Yeah,
at all.
no roads are closed at all. That's brilliant.
oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Actually,
There's no road closures.
yeah,
Minimum.
minimal because it starts on the.
Do they have cars in Scotland? Is anyone allowed to drive them? No.
I'm not sure.
It's
Doesn't
not
it
the
start
Isle of
after
Wight.
Sea? Doesn't it start after sea, or does it start on the Royal Mile? I'm trying to remember my head what. But no, I think they start after sea. So it probably closes some roads, but not major ones. But no, my frustration with it was it claims to be the fastest marathon in the UK, and they've clearly just chosen the route to try and be fast. But it means that not only do you leave Edinburgh straight away, but you go into a headwind for 7 miles, and you'll then there wasn't enough water. You then come back and you're in the middle of nowhere, a race course that you then have to queue up for like hours for buses to get back in. Just everything about it is just none of it's made for the runner.
None of it's made for the runner. Who is it serving? Who runs? Is it? Are they?
No, I hope it's not Martin yelling. There's a chance. There is a chance because I know that Martin. He's involved in some organisations, right?
Yeah.
We're interviewing him in a couple of. Well, next week.
Yeah.
Just hold back this episode until you've recorded them. Then
Just explore it. They'll just go, yeah, what races are you involved in, Martin?
As soon as I knew who the organiser was, I wouldn't feel that I could have taken the piss. But we have a guest. It's Anna. Let's bring Anna Brown
Come on,
in.
Anna.
Anna's coming in. Come on, Anna. Absolutely, come on, Anna. It's your round, by the way, Jody. So, Anna, I mean, I'm sure most people from the podcast know Anna already.
Yeah, she's
Recently
badass.
smashed the MDS. In fact, a while back, has been smashing ultras left, right, and centre. Anna, come and join us. How are things?
Go on, sit there. You're about to be interviewed.
We can put the camera on you, I think.
Yeah, there we go. Look, here we go.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
So Anna
that one's
is
fine.
probably most famous for every year she trains for the MDS and never does it. She's can't be asked. She just enjoys the process, I think, is the... Are you?
So you train, and then you just go to everyone. Well, I could have won it.
Yeah.
I could have won it. I
Yeah.
trained for it, but I could have won it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Anna, come in.
Come on,
Come
Simon.
join
Look,
us.
that's it. Who knew? You just trying to mind your own business, and now you're on the podcast.
But
I've come for a beer. What's going on?
No, but I genuinely think it's fascinating having I've been unbelievably impressed by your fortitude.
Unbelievably, I wasn't unbelievably impressed. I was impressed. I knew you could do it.
Well, no, because it's.
Well, I didn't.
I knew you could have done it.
But I mean, how many times have you trained for the MDS now?
Well, got delayed 3 times. 3 times. Yeah.
And would you say your training changed or your mental attitude changed? Like by the 3rd time, was an element of I'm not going to commit as much, or
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I guess, well, I was more scared the first time.
come on, move to
Come
the
on,
right.
move closer. Come on, go so closer. This is.
Yeah, no, I was scared of it the first time, and then I just couldn't be bothered in the end, so it was just, yeah.
It's far away.
Yeah. But I was definitely more prepared by the 3rd one because I'd been training for 3 years, basically, by the time when I went out there, I trained for 3 years, and then I DNF'd, so.
But on that 3rd one, from talking to the other people there, was there almost people had stopped being scared and were now just so oh, for fuck's sake, let's just get this done.
Yeah, definitely. I think the people that actually went out and did it when I did it, because we could have deferred to 23, we had the option to do it in April.
Yeah.
But we all just wanted to get it done. We were just like, it's gone on. It's taken over our lives long enough. So, yeah. But it was quite a small year. Lots of people didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We've
hello,
got
look at this.
CFTB, we've got Julius, we've got... Brilliant. And so now, if you were to kind of sort of say how your motivation changed, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, 4 is going to be completely different
Yeah.
because I don't give a shit about my training this time. Because it wasn't about my fitness. It was nothing to do with my fitness.
Yeah, that's what I knew straight from the start. I think that's what with most races. It's not about your fitness. It's just mental fortitude. Yeah.
So basically, Jody, you're incredibly weak mentally.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
as well as
Everyone thinks I'm pathetic physically, but it's not that. It's a mental thing.
Yeah. So I don't really care. I'm probably going to have another month of not running between now and then just get
Yeah,
on
but
with it.
wait a minute. Is a month right? So when David says that he's not been running, he means he's not been running at the pace or whatever. Does not running actually mean not running with you for you?
Oh, I don't know. I think I might have broken my foot. So
What? How?
I ran the 10th path last weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
On a race, or? It's 10 past 1.
This is a long story. So I did the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got COVID before Thames Path, which was the first one.
Yeah.
So I was determined to finish the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I did it last weekend solo with the support.
So with COVID? Or?
No. COVID was May when the race happened. I
Oh,
didn't
I see.
do the race. So
Yeah.
I was like, I've got a month to get it done. So I did it last weekend.
And is that officially? So that was your own.
My own Thames 1200. I ran the course.
Do you get a?
No.
How do we know that you didn't dope or cheat?
How would you normally know?
And what's it?
CFTB, they tested you, didn't they?
Nope.
No.
He didn't open the door.
They didn't
He's
open the
learned
door.
from the
no.
best. He's learned from the
Hanging
best.
out the window like in Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away. You got-
And so what's it like running Thames Paths with no support?
Dark,
No.
if you do it in December. It was very, very dark.
And how
What's
how much
Reading
support
like
did
at
you?
that?
Well, it was actually about 8 o'clock in the evening. It's probably more civilised, actually. It was like... it
No,
was-
Reading is never civilised.
Yeah, it was cold, it was miserable, it was dark. But I had someone with me. I had like buddies the whole way along. It was really good, actually. But freezing.
And other than the heat, do you think you'd prefer doing? Because it's almost like an FKT versus a race.
Yeah.
Do you prefer one to the other now on that, based on that experience?
What, running path in...
Running solo.
Running-
Under your own steam
Turning
as
up and
opposed to a
doing
race.
God, no, it's hard on your own. Like, the race gives you more motivation, yeah.
And what was the finish line?
Oh god! So I thought I wouldn't be able to go into the playing, the playing fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought the gate would be shut, and I'd already got a few. Like,
That'd be amazing. If you get to mile
can't get in.
99.5 and
Yeah. Well, no, it was way over distance. 'Cause I'd gone wrong a bit. So I thought I'm just going to stop at the gate because that's going to be, and the gate was open. I was like, oh, I've got to finish it. I've got to go into the finish line. It's like, where the hell's the gantry? Like, I don't know where the finish is. It's somewhere in this field. So I sort of ran halfway up this dark field, and then just stopped running.
And is that when you break your
Is that
foot?
when you do the press-ups?
Oh crap! I forgot to do press ups.
Oh, there we go. Unfortunately, still not
I
complete.
did it all the others.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I forgot. But yeah, it was just me and my two support people. Rich, who was bad boy running. Rich, not that Rich. He didn't turn up.
Oh, is he not bad boy
Oh,
running,
why
Rich?
did you-
Oh, ouch!
Why
Ouch!
didn't you support her on the 10
CFTB
Path
we're
100, you
talking about.
monster? Yeah.
He would have
No.
died of boredom. I had a tracker, and and the bed comes up when you go really slowly. Like the little bed icon on your tracker, that kept coming up. Like the whole second half, there was a bed on my tracker. So, yeah.
Maybe
Bed's
it's
always on my tracker.
Maybe it's just your history. And so
And trackers that judgmental.
they really
You
are.
slut.
They've been tracking you for a while. And are you worried though? Because as soon as you stop training hard for something, because I'm similar. Like I do it or I don't do it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
Mainly don't do it.
but it sounds like you've almost done nothing because you haven't got the motivation to do the full training.
I've done nothing.
No, for the MDS, it sounds like
You've done nothing
I
as a
only ended it
judge.
about 3 weeks ago.
okay. So you've
So-
still got plenty of time, and you're gonna give it your all. And
No, probably not. I'm going to just train normally.
okay,
I'm doing some heat sessions, which I couldn't get last time because of COVID. So yeah, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, and then see how it goes. It's not about fitness. I mean, I'm not going to win it,
yeah.
but
Well, you were in second place, weren't you, on day?
Well, I was, but then I DNF. So, so it's about finishing it this time. So, yeah.
And how will it feel if you DNF again?
You have to go back, don't you? Isn't the plate? The whole business is run on people
Yeah.
going back because they DNF. Going, I'm going to bloody do it this time.
I actually think if I DNF again, it will be easier, actually, because it will be if it's physiological reasons that my body just cannot cope with those
Yeah.
conditions, then I just can't cope with those conditions, even if I've done all the prep. So if I DNF again, I think it's not training, it's just me. I'm not very good at running in the heat. Shouldn't have really invented it. So
So you think it will have to be a physiological thing rather than your drive?
I trained so hard the first time. I did everything I could. I sat in a sauna every single day. Like I was, other than actually going to a hot country, which I couldn't afford to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done anything else for the last one.
Yeah.
But it's never been 55 degrees every day in the MDS before. I've got to hope
Oh,
it's not
mine
gonna-
was 66 degrees, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
Yours
think mine
was
was
hot.
50. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was it's much sandier when I did
Yours
it.
was the hot long one, I think they call it.
There we go again. That's always been his issue.
Yeah, until ours came along, which was the extra hot, extra
You
sticky
see,
one.
this is a good thing about doing the same MDS as Lucio Evans, because he just he's the best PR man for any race he's ever done. Apparently the Morris Way is only 30 miles. It's just how he positions it. So, interesting. And see, we've got CFTB in the room as well.
Whoa,
CFTB, we
look
need
at
to
this.
hear about your... you know what we need to talk about, right?
Well, actually, before that,
Oh, no.
we've got a little something.
Oh, we have. Yes. Go on.
So-
Go on. Wait
so
a minute.
I was-
Let's turn this round so you've got a microphone. Wait a minute. That way round. That way round. Look at this. I'm surprised with the level of self-promotion you do. You haven't brought your own fucking microphone.
No, you're going to need to do it the other way. Oh, no. Okay.
So I was looking at the
Common
Grand Slam
position.
results earlier. I think you would have won by 10 hours. An average time of like 3 hours quicker than. So
What are you doing stalking the results, CFTB,
So-
you pervert?
so we
We've got your BT
we
router.
made you a
No.
little.
Oh my god!
Ah,
And
that's
it's made of chocolate, you
incredible.
can bite into it.
God, hold that up to the camera.
my
Look at that.
That's amazing. That's brilliant.
Thames Path 100 Winter Edition champion.
That is amazing. And also, a full size one wouldn't fit in my flat, so a good one. It's good to have a little one. I said, oh, thank you.
It's
That's
like
Little
amazing.
memento.
The Centurion about to say get the lawyers on you for copyright infringement, but
That is brilliant. I love it. Thank you so much.
That is
brilliant.
very cool. And does it make you now want to go back and win Thames Bath?
10 hours. 10 hours. You'd like absolutely destroyed the rest of the
No,
competition.
but in the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
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 That's really funny.
Who won the Grand Slam?
It was
Danielle, is it
Danielle.
Charlatan.
Danielle Harris with a time at 95 hours 16, and you were at 84:45. So 10 and a half hours faster.
Wow.
Are we
But I
starting a
didn't
campaign?
actually
We are
do-
starting a campaign.
I didn't actually do the race. I don't know.
There's a medal, isn't there?
You know, you get the Grand Slam. Everyone gets the Grand Slam.
You get a
buckle thing,
flamethrower.
don't they?
I'm sure it's a flamethrower. Is it a flamethrower? Is it not? Is that not what it is? It should be.
But does anyone want a
Does
medal?
any race get a flamethrower? I bet there's some American races where you get a flamethrower if you win it.
I love it.
There's only one Winter Edition champion.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm gonna be the champion forever.
There's gonna be some fucker. There's gonna be some fuckers gonna do FKT and try and beat that now, isn't it? It's probably gonna be him. It's like I'm gonna create an award so I can win it every year after. That's it.
Can you self-identify for FKTs? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because CFTB will be there. Well, CFTB, we need to hear about your drug.
Your
Situation.
drug frenzy.
Or
So yeah,
not.
so because I gave a potted view, a potted history of one thing. I'm not even sure that I gave the right information. But I think
pot.
it was pot. We don't know. So yeah, David wants to dig into this further because we're not 100%
already
sure. We're not
discovered-
100% sure you've been entirely honest with us.
We've already
Really? Okay. Fair
We've
enough.
already discovered that if you are an athlete, you cannot train with by UK
A drugs
AD,
cheat.
you
You're not allowed
can't
to
train
do
with a drugs cheat.
Have you trained with any drugs
You're
cheats?
breaking UK, and so therefore we're suspecting that your wife has dobbed you in so she doesn't have to hang out with you.
Well, there was one person in my club who was pot for EPO, but I never trained with him. He would only turn up for races.
But you,
And that's
Is he a
a bit-
cyclist as well?
but from so you had someone knock on your door, right?
Yep. And
What happens when that talk us through what you were doing at that moment?
I was actually.
Unless you're doing something untoward. We don't need to be talked through that.
to quickly put the syringes away. No, I was actually had the project manager for our kitchen extension in the house at the time. So I was talking to them and talking about snagging and things. And yeah, doorbell went, and the guy was a bit surprised that I'd actually opened the door. He said, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be in. I've got a letter for you."
What-
So
I didn't expect you to be in. That is exactly what you want from a fucking drugs agency, isn't it?
And what did the guy look like? What was he wearing? What did he was he holding a clipboard? Did he have a
Goodness.
camera?
No, just
Did
an
he-
envelope. Just an envelope.
An
And he had
envelope.
A white envelope, a brown. Was it gold? Is it like
A gold
ooh,
envelope.
I want to
What is
open
it? Was he
this
fucking Willy Wonka? Because I want to give you a chocolate factory. What?
to entice you to open it up.
And he had someone with him.
What?
And I thought, yeah, there was a woman with him as well.
Right. She his carer.
I'm not quite sure what her responsibility was, but
I'd love if he dragged his wife along.
It's like, I'm here for UKA. It was like, okay, you're here to take a sample, are you? Oh, no, I'm not. No. It's like, oh, there's been an allegation. Okay, right. Someone has alleged that I've been taking steroids since 2018.
Yeah, you.
There was
if
a very-
ever there is a picture of steroids, it's you.
Well, yeah, look
Like,
at-
you're like the fucking British Rock. You
With
are.
my pipe between her arms.
Exactly.
I was
So
like,
what year was this? Like how many years was it suggesting you'd taken steroids for?
like 4 years. This
Oh,
was,
so this was just
It's- that's not true. It's
around
been
about
at least
Easter time.
5.
This was about Easter time.
Wow.
And I thought, well, that's a very strange and specific allegation.
Yeah, it
That's- It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
So you basically went, mate, you're way off.
Wrong drug, wrong time scale. You have no idea what you're talking
I'm
about.
not a sprinter. Why would I be taking those? It's like, okay, well, you here to take a sample? He's like, well, no, I'm not here to take a sample.
You're getting
I
a
said,
sample
well-
whether you like it or not.
It's like, well, why are you here if you're not here to take a sample? Oh, well, it's your choice whether you take drugs or not, but I'm here to ask you not to.
Wow. Are they funded? Is that what? Oh fuck! Is that what all of that money goes towards for
And I said,
England
well-
athletics?
So he could have sent that in the post, right?
Absolutely. I said, well,
Do you think he's lonely? Do you think he just wanted to chat?
it's like, okay, if this is a warning and you do genuinely think I'm taking drugs and you just don't want me to continue taking drugs, fair enough, but why not take a sample? Did they not want, if they thought this was genuine, did they not want this to show up as a positive thing? But talking to other people later, they said, well, I'm not in a testing pool. They weren't actually allowed to test me. So I'm not an elite athlete. I'm not part of a testing program.
Or did that hurt when he said that?
Well, he didn't say that.
No, he didn't. He
tell me.
implied it.
Your time said it.
No, a friend of mine said, well, this is a good thing. That means that you're appearing on the radar of being like a quality athlete who should be in the testing program.
So in a way, we
Maybe.
should be jealous.
And subsequent to this, entries to like the Surrey League Cross Country and various other things and the road relays, there's been actually a sign a disclaimer. You actually have to tick a box saying, yeah, I agree to drug testing. And this may be linked. The fact that someone's made an allegation of someone who's not in a testing pool, so now they want more people that they can officially test.
And because if anything, if they were trying to give it as a warning, he should have like knocked on the window while you're having a shit. 'Cause that would be more like, oh my god, they're everywhere, rather than just knocking your door.
They're everywhere. That's what this.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah, when you're out on a run and the heath just jumped out of a bush and been like, "This is your usual route." That is going to make you think they're onto
They're
me.
watching, yeah.
More than just.
I think if you're in a testing pool, you need to fill out your whereabouts documentation. So you need to say where you are at a specific time every day, and this is how some of the Kenyans and things have been put for whereabouts infractions or whatever. So they haven't been in the places where they've been, or they've looked back and said, well, you said you were in such and such a place. We didn't turn up to test you, but we know that you were in a different place. So that's actually a one strike against you. So all in all, it was very, very bizarre.
That's why on Anna Brown's tracking it always says bed, just in case, just to cover. Sorry, Anna. I realised the podcast probably didn't know that well, and it just besmirched your name. It's just more of a warning. So,
I don't know about anyone else, but I need to go to the loo, which means G-Law's here, so he can take my place temporarily. G-Law, you
Yes,
look
G-Law,
knackered.
coming in.
G-Law, what have you been doing? You look really tired. What have you been doing? You were out last night. Where were you out? Wait, go on, dig into that, because he's being a bit
I think
coy
he's
about
still in
that, isn't he?
pain.
He's still in pain.
it seems like he's still in pain from last night, right?
Yeah, it does. Come on, sit down, take a seat.
G-Law, come
Come on,
join.
come on,
yeah,
G-Law.
come on,
Yeah.
G-Law. Come on, Bruno's not come just because he's worried.
Is he?
About-
Well, let's be rude about him when he's not here.
Yeah. But you're getting around him while you're out, sir.
Oh yeah, I'll get around him.
Although it might take a very long time. I'll move over, G-Law. Take these. G-Law, welcome to the podcast.
Again. That's like.
Oh, sorry, I haven't listened to that. How was that?
You did say you was going to listen to it.
I did, and I'm not dead yet, so
Well, the fact you haven't taken the piss out of me means you haven't listened to it.
it's not a lie yet. Gila, what should we talk about? Should we talk about what's it like to be in the shadow of your better partner? More
Better half.
athletically, yeah.
It's
More
okay, I've got
success.
used to it. I've got used to it.
Is it? Does she rib you for it?
No, not at all. Oh, do I need to be closer? Sorry, I'm not used to the professionalism.
Neither are we. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, so it's not brought up like her parents don't be like, oh, so
Well, they don't like me anyway, so...
why not? Where did this begin, G-Law?
It began on a bike ride,
Yeah.
and she then... I was training for a triathlon. She came on a bike ride with me, decided she liked it. She signed up for a triathlon and then became better at it than I was. So
Does that anger you a bit?
no, it doesn't. That's why I don't do it anymore.
So you had to retire because of the comparative humiliation.
No.
Because Briggsy's been a widow to training at times when I've been out training too much.
Yeah.
Like, do you wish? Is it annoying how much she trains? Honestly.
She's not around a lot.
So is that is that a good
was-
thing? Is that a bad thing?
That was good, wasn't it? That was good answer.
Does Christine listen to the
Neutral,
podcast? Because I'd advise that maybe she shouldn't.
She does every now and again, yeah.
And
Love you, Chris.
do you go out for runs together and things like that? That was the least committal.
I love that you go cycling all the time.
Do you train together?
No, not at all.
Not even runs.
No.
And
We used to go running together, and she used to listen to her headphones and not talk to me. So I was like,
Well, we've got some good news for you about training together.
right, go on.
yeah, true. If you're done as a drugs cheat, she's then got a reason why she can't train for you by UKAD, because you're not allowed to train with a drugs cheat apparently.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
you know about that?
I do. Jody's been done. Yeah, he was trying to get under 25 minutes for a 5K. And,
There was realistically no other way, really, was it?
there wasn't. Oh, wow. So not even a run, though? Because surely...
No, I just didn't see the point because she just didn't talk to me. So I was like, why are we running together? Because she was like, no, I want to listen to music. So I was like, well, why are we running together? She was like, I want to run with you. I was like, but we're not talking. So I stopped that.
Wow. I mean, I'm not suggesting maybe you shouldn't be together, but...
Love you, Chris.
Have you just come from a big argument?
Is this live? Is this on Facebook at the moment?
Music at home as well.
Should I check my phone? Do I still have a girlfriend?
And, like, if you... Before she turned her music on, what would you normally talk about?
How far are we running? How long is it going to take?
Like, has
Is it hilly?
has her focus for sport changed, actually, the topic of conversations between you?
She loves talking about triathlon, loads.
And-
I've kind of lost interest in it. But
Look-
she still thinks I like triathlon, so she keeps talking to me about triathlon.
Oh, boy. So, if Chris was listening to this, what kind of topics would you want to throw into the mix as maybe this
Okay,
week?
right. There was a bit of news then from the triathlon world. So
Yeah.
do you know that they're trying to encourage more women into Ironman or championships? But to do that,
They
they're
probably need to
splitting
change the name?
they're splitting into 2 days. So men are going to be on one day, women are going to be on the second day. And now they've just announced that they're actually going to do it in 2 different locations. So women are going to be in Nice, and the men are going to be in Hawaii, and then next year they're going to swap it and then make it alternative years. How bonkers is that?
Is that just for the pros or age groups as well?
No, that's for the World Championships. Women in a completely different part of the world on a different day.
What do you think the logic of that is?
I think they can't fit them all in that same weekend because Kona is quite small.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to do good
Yeah.
and go, right, let's try and get as many people as possible. And we'll do it this way. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of weakened the brand a bit, hasn't it? I think weakened the event as well.
Do you think
We've
that
actually talked about
the
serious
World
stuff.
Championships is going to be like when it's in a non-Kona year, people are going to say it's not a real World Championship
There's been
given the
talk about
history?
that, yeah, there's been talk about that. And they've actually lowered the requirement for women to get in, to try and get more women in. And there's been backlash against that as well, saying, well, you know, they weren't good enough and you've lowered the requirements, so therefore the ones that now get in weren't good enough.
What's wrong with...
It's been quite a backlash on Facebook.
I've never got the whole issue of people being behind you.
I
That's
don't-
what it is, right? It's just more people behind you.
If that's the qualification time, that's the qualification time. You've qualified, so just because they've lowered it.
But there must be an element of some people watch for certain women, some people watch for certain men, and it means they're all watching everyone, which just promotes everyone to the viewer more.
Yeah, there's that, but at the same time, it's quite an iconic thing. And are you running to win the World Championships? The professionals are, or the likes of you and me, we're running because we want to do the Kona course. So if you then qualify for the niche
Yeah.
year, you're like, well,
Yeah.
I want to do the Kona.
But then their whole business model is almost built on people who are journeymen who can do enough Ironmen to then qualify to do the Kona course.
Yeah.
And so then they've qualified for the world champs through money, really. Through what, 10 grand, I guess?
Well, how much money you spend on a bike? That's probably how much you
Yeah.
cost to qualify.
um,
Am I actually supposed to hear things through this? Because
No, there's loads of sound effects, but only this one here. I can hear the sound effects now. Some humour. I hadn't heard that for a long time. So do you think actually this is going to weaken Iron Man as a brand? And do you think they the kind of
weaken the World Championships, but not Iron Man?
But I think if you weaken the World Championships, that's the funnel, right? That's the top of the funnel that everyone's directing into.
But I think people that will be coming to the sport now, if you come to the sport now and you can qualify for the World Championships in Nice, they might not see Kona in that higher standards as everyone else does. Because, the days of Chrissy Wellington and all the classics, they did Kona, and that's what put me onto Kona. I was like, oh, God, that looks amazing. I want to do that. People starting now and their first championship, if they see it on TV and it's in Nice, they might, going forward, not have the same
I don't think, well,
attachment.
what is the course in Nice like? Because that's like saying
It's lumpy.
UTMB, and then they've decided to not do it in Chamonix, and the next year they're doing it in, I don't know what an equivalent would be to Nice, because...
But this is actually a very good comparison, which was what I made. Are you running the UTMB to run into the against the best at what is now the World Championships of Ultra Running? I think it is they're trying to frame it as, or are you trying to run the famous course? For me, it's to run the famous course. I would like to run that course.
Yeah. I guess it depends if it's experience. It's experience versus ego, right?
A little bit.
Like you want the experience of doing the thing you've seen everyone else do,
Yeah.
or you want the ego of telling people going to World Champs.
Yeah.
So it's two different people, two different drivers.
Yeah.
It delights me in some ways that Ironman's proven again that they just don't give a shit about their customers, but at the same point, it's a great sport that is a shame.
Like I said, I think it's to give them credit. It's born out of a good place, is in that they're trying to get more women in.
Yeah.
But have they shot themselves in the foot, or is it? Time will tell. Like I said, in 5 years' time, people might not care about Kona being.
And why couldn't they extended the cut-off time and just had more women at the World Champs?
I don't actually know the ins and outs. You can speak to Chris about this.
Yeah.
I can phone her up. But
Chris or Chrissy Wellington? Which one are we?
No, but I think it's purely logistics. I think because it's such a small town,
Yeah.
and I think hotels get booked up a year in advance.
Yeah,
So then,
okay.
then the whole island gets booked up, and people are then travelling from one side of the island to the other to try and get there. And
Yeah.
I think
And the
it's just-
expense, I guess.
Well, the whole thing about Ironman World Champs is it's not a time, it's just a position. You need to come certain top whatever in your age
Yeah.
group. So there's no
But you
time
can get roll
involved.
downs.
Yeah, roll downs, yeah, but it's irrespective of time. So I got a roll down for the half Ironman World Champs.
Yeah. So I
But
think
that
they're adding
wasn't
more, I
based
think
on
they're adding
time.
more roll down more places. So rather than for men, let's say, because it was all done on how many men are in the field.
Yep.
That's how many places they're allocated to that race. So if there's 1,000 men and only 200 women, women will get one place to Kona, men will get 10, something like that.
Okay.
So what they're doing is now
right, okay.
there's 100 women in the field or whatever the number I said before, and now they get 3 places rather than the 1.
Right.
So,
it's
same
still,
number of women,
it's still
more
10
places,
to 3.
with the aim to try and get more women in to go. Hang on, there's 3 places for this race. Let's go.
So for a typical race, there'd be 10 men, 3 women that qualify.
No, it all depends on how many people turn up on the day.
Okay.
And then they work out the slots compared to that.
And what is the negativity of just being equal?
Because the men outnumber the field.
But that happens.
So
in-
the pro women, it's equal, men and women now.
Second?
The pro women and pro men, that's equal.
Is that equal now?
Yep.
I've not really looked at. I've always
Yeah,
looked
so
at
the
my-
women are
I've
on
always
the
looked at my-
Saturday and
my
then on the
target,
Sunday,
my
or
age
the other
group.
way around.
But if you want to encourage women into it, then you just create more opportunities for that, right?
Well, I think this is how they're trying to do it. But maybe they've gone about it the wrong way.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know enough about Ironman, but I do get the sense that,
Not do I.
that it's
Again,
quite...
we're talking about subjects you don't know enough about.
Does anyone in the room know about Ironman? What a dish. Now, I don't know if we can discuss this on air, but we do have a bad boy couple in the room, from what I understand. No? Is that all right?
Hellard, you weren't supposed to tell them.
Is that all right? Have I heard information wrong? Yeah. Is...
The girlfriend boyfriend kind. We're not talking about full on marriage here.
Yeah, this is big news in the Jody's bought beers in.
Oh, so I'm going to have to give up a seat. Okay, well, nice chatting to you guys.
Basically, you've just missed G-Law spitting up his girlfriend.
Oh no! Is that true?
Yeah. Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Well,
Well,
we've got the least popular thing on the menu, as I asked.
we've only got 20 minutes left until the game, and
it's got bad out there now.
it does look quite.
It is. It's got. You know. I hate going to a pub when it's England game. Like it's like different people turn up for that. People that you never see normally in a pub.
I mean, you're constantly in pubs, aren't you? That just.
Well, I think if you go to a pub and you watch a football game, then you've got like different supporters and stuff like that. And of course, Chelsea supporters are the worst because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know anything about football because they're a bunch of plastics. But normally it's all right, isn't it? Because you've got people with different teams. But England games, like people turn up who never go to football. Like, it's just a completely different.
That makes it
type
nicer,
of person.
surely.
No, it's not. It's not nice. Don't like
Well,
it.
I think, given we've got 20 minutes left, it's time to do some stings. And we haven't thought of any. But has anyone messaged on
Go on. Oh yeah,
Instagram
stings.
at all?
Stings. Stings.
So-
Yeah, go on, do it. Go on.
Yeah.
I want you to come up with some stings.
Yeah, so
We're here.
do we have any topics for stings that we can record? I'll look on my list to see if we haven't planned
Well,
any
my
of this.
favourite sting that you ever did was when what was the Nike thing called where it gave you some advice when you were running. It had like the voice of Paul Radcliffe going, "Oh, you're doing really well." Like whenever you did a best
it's
5K,
like,
stuff like that.
why didn't you lose weight? Have you thought about...
Yeah, exactly.
developing-
This would be much quicker if you lost half a stone.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Infantino, today I'm gay.
Infantino, yes. He's the guy in charge of FIFA, right?
He is the guy in charge of FIFA.
Ooh. Do you feel like you've never belonged, but you're gay, and you're a female, and you've got red hair? Why not move to Qatar?
Qatar.
Because
That was
he
his
was
thing.
talking about how he was bullied.
He was equating being LGBTQ plus or a migrant worker.
Oh, I forgot.
No, because I am African. What the fuck does that mean? I am African. Well, which bit of Africa?
I mean, that's a bad Will Smith film,
I
right?
mean, that-
So
what I loved about that is he tried to say something inclusive, but he basically laid bare all of his prejudices in an entire sentence. I mean,
the people he hated.
the people he hated, he misunderstood them all in one go.
Please, through the course of the podcast, I write stuff down that I think
What do those things say?
that I
I
think are
have
going
lost
to
the will to
become.
fucking live.
It's the lexicon of bad boy running. Well, if I think something's quite funny and like an Icaral shift or run like a co, I'll write it down like this is the thing. But I now don't know what these things mean. So
Go on, say them, and we'll come up with what they mean. There we go.
one of them is buy all the bacon.
What does that mean? What do we think that means? Buy all the bacon. Buy,
Buy.
as in you'll buy all the bacon, or you have to purchase all the bacon.
Don't know. Just says about B-U-Y. Buy all the bacon. We've got hypnotherapy. Is one of-
Hypnotherapy.
There's another one in there. Yeah. Oh, that's quite good.
It's a good name for
Putella,
a band, isn't it?
Putella or Nutella. That's quite good.
Nutella and Nutella. Oh no, that came as a result of saying, is it shit or chocolate? Like as a parent, you go and you have a look at a sofa. You're like, is it chocolate?
Well, let's do a
Or is
thing
it
for that.
shit?
Let's do a thing for that.
Very hard to tell. You don't want to get too close to it. You certainly don't want to taste it. But,
Let's do a thing for that. Do you find yourself not chewing your nuts very well? That they often pass right through. It comes in, it comes out, one and the same. You'd like Putella from Nutella.
who did we interview who wanted to be sponsored by Nutella?
That was Jake Smith.
Was it? Yeah, it goes on.
We even
yeah.
emailed the head of marketing for Nutella. They never got back to me.
Did they not?
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed about that. I thought we could actually.
Those palm oil motherfuckers.
We,
they
we
heard-
could
that's
have,
it,
yeah,
could have been
this
it.
could have been their moment.
Exactly.
Nutella is in
No. One of my favourite stings that you did was where you did that kind of voice thing where you were going, okay, you've come to the end of you're in the middle of nowhere. Why bother?
You're all alone.
Why?
You
You're all
sad,
alone.
Pathetic loser.
And to be fair, you're pathetic. I think if that hits someone, if they're on a certain length of time on a long run,
You know,
that could actually be fatal.
That was G-Law when his girlfriend had just put her headphones on, and he was running with her, and he still felt alone. It was, yeah. I've got fuck you Budweiser, Stephen Smith. What does that mean?
Fuck you, Budweiser.
about sponsorship.
Is it sponsorship?
Budweiser.
Oh, fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, Budweiser.
Oh, we were trying. Yes, yeah. Oh, look at this.
Oh, so we get.
Someone's a nerd who's been listening too much, has been exposed. What was your Spotify Unwrapped? 28,000 minutes, was it?
Genuinely said nothing. I don't know.
It says nothing, yeah.
Was it sort of related to Budweiser sponsoring the World Cup the day before? Like,
No, I think this is from before that. So, yeah, well.
Oh,
we've
yeah,
got-
it might have been because there was that that craft beer company said that they would create a beer for us. But I couldn't remember what his name was, so I never got back to him.
Stephen Smith.
Stephen Smith. There we go. That was him. Oh, bloody hell.
Right, we need to do some more stings. Some, let's do on hypnotherapy.
Where did that come from?
Well, it's a word on the list. We can do hypnotherapy. Do you have problems in your life and feel that a therapist could help? 9! Maybe you need hypnotherapy. 9!
I thought you said hypnotherapy.
No,
I was thinking, what the fuck are you talking about hypnotherapy for?
For all those problems that art school won't solve.
No, hypnotherapy. Have you seen that joke? Hypnotherapy. It's like you go, tell me, how do you feel? And when you start talking, you slap them around the face, go, Viva ask the questions.
Nice. It's almost like you got into it was the craft work. You got into craft work and then just went too deep. That doesn't really work. Right. What do you want from? What can we do for buy all the? I mean, that's
Buy all the bacon.
Bean Queen.
Oh
Surely
my
there's
God.
a sting for that.
Do you know what I was having a conversation with someone about the other day. It comes up all the time. People in the stables, they talk about it in the yard and stuff, and then Libby goes, "Oh, they've been talking about it on the podcast." And then she introduces them to the Bean Queen. They're like, "No way, there's someone called the Bean Queen." We're actually getting business for the Bean Queen. We should be taking some kind of affiliate commission because I think she's getting huge business.
Imagine
from
the
this.
Pearly Queen met the Bean Queen, and they combined outfits. Pearly Queen outfit with the beans.
Oh my God.
I think we've come to the end of the podcast.
I think we come to the end of the podcast generally on that note. We need to talk about London Marathon places.
Yeah.
Because yesterday the draw for the London Marathon places was done for the Bad Boy Running.
Did
Of
you
course-
just get 2 places?
No, Julius didn't get to. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying it's corrupt, but we're based out of Switzerland now, and of course, weirdly, Dan got one of the places, wasn't it?
Well done, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan sat here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have you run it
Yeah.
before, Dan?
No, I believe I got the Virgin place.
And you,
Oh my
you were
God.
really pleased, weren't you? Your reaction when I mentioned it to you.
Yes, CFTB texted me last night, and I was just in bed, about to go to sleep, and he said, "Oh, you better get training because you're running London." I just texted back, "Oh no."
You do realise you have to wear a BBRC top that says Massive Virgin on it?
Don't worry, Dan wears that look already.
He screams that look. He screams that. No, that's it. So, but apparently there was some controversy.
Yeah,
The
there
kind
was
of
a lot of
controversy that's kind of mixed up in like a
no.
FIFA Olympic
Like
style.
fun controversy
Well,
or
yeah.
actual anger?
So we made it as straightforward as possible. I.e., really
As straightforward as possible, yeah, which is
So
pretty
really
slightly more
complicated.
complex than a Kafka novel.
So because our club is somehow it's bona fide and we're big enough to get 2 places, we have always had a thing where the committee members didn't enter the club. We had a thing where if you've run London before, we felt that it was better to have the place available, the single place, available for people who hadn't run it before. So then we thought, oh, well, we've got 2 places now. Now we can have all these conditions on one place and then less conditions on the other, because that'll be really clear to a really intelligent.
The thing is, Jubalas are known for their attention to
Well, this is what
detail.
I'm saying.
That's the thing. If there's one thing I think about, it's attention to detail.
Exactly. So I was thinking of the people that I've met and run with, and thought these guys they got their shit together. They're going to understand the rules, the simplicity of the instructions.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even within the BBRC committee, we don't understand basic rules of when to turn up for things and stuff like that. So
there is that, and so we had these rules, and they were very straightforward. You got into the Virgin draws. Dan was just mentioning he got. I think you might have got yours in the other place.
You had to
but
prove that
anyway.
you hadn't had sex.
But,
so.
Yeah, you didn't get the Virgin draw. You got the second draw. You got, if you had never run it before and you're not on the committee,
and you met the other criteria, then you got a place. But the criteria was that you pay for affiliation in the club, and that was pretty much it. So you have to be an affiliated member who had.
Did
not
you have
run
to
it
have applied to the
You had to have
marathon?
applied. So you had to have there were two key things that you had to have. Affiliated, you had to be an affiliated member, and so in other words, you've got an EA registered number, and that you had not run it before in the Virgin, and that you had your proof that you'd not tried to get in the public ballot. So Duncan was really hot on have you got your proof that you haven't? So we were really checking on that, and then but it said in the
Is this
instructions.
being really hot and it's going to come back to bite him in a second?
Well, yeah. so we had the really clear instructions and an email that went out that said you've got to have.
I noticed the blame is very much being pushed onto the users here at this
It is
point.
completely users. It's got nothing to do with the process.
User error is
Nothing to do with the process at all. So we don't affiliate members, and it's really clear when you sign up to the club. If you sign up in, say, October, not that the person who got the place might have signed up in October, but just an example.
Take it they signed up in
If you
October.
signed up in October, it says really clearly, before you click above the button that says, yes, I really want to join, it has in big, bold letters, you will not be affiliated. You are not affiliated until the 1st of April.
Oh, so they're not eligible
So
for
they're
the
a legend.
draw.
They've paid for affiliation from the 1st of April 2023.
I love that.
So the
We
person
charged them. They're not affiliated. That's
no,
that's
the
one
whole-
hell of a
no,
scam that we're
this
running.
is
I love
true.
it.
It does sound it, but the whole point is that we're actually protecting people's investment.
Nice.
Oh, sound like a real crypto king, isn't it? Like we're
What
protecting your
we're doing
investment.
is we're looking after the little people. And so what
You're
we're doing
idiots.
is-
We'll make the rules.
No, what we don't think is that with EA, because it's really backward, they have a really strict sort of time frame. It's the 1st of April. So if you sign up to a running club, April Fool's Day, if you sign up to a running club, then you pay for affiliation, it starts on the 1st of April. So if you joined in October, then you lose out
So you're
on
not
10
eligible.
months.
So did the
I'm
winner?
sorry, my maths is obviously really bad.
So,
10 months.
so the winner hadn't been affiliated.
No, because it's so so they weren't. They
So
should
they
have been.
can't.
But they
get a
still
place.
applied.
Does that mean they can
They
get a
still
place?
applied.
Yeah,
The
like
email-
Harry Potter in the fucking
email
Goblet of
said-
Fire. I'll fucking have that regardless.
What I do know is that it takes
Someone will let me in.
It takes you enough time for you to publish the podcast, so I've actually got time to get this communication process sorted out before the podcast goes live. Don't launch it.
So are they able to
Oh,
run
what's the
it?
name? Go on. No, of course they're
because
not.
they shouldn't know. We've got
Not
to redraw.
allowed.
We've got to rerun
Oh,
the draw.
no.
Not allowed.
Unfortunately,
Who is
they
Ultimate
think they
Do
can.
Badder?
Well, yeah, it should be this weekend because all the places. So it should be the Virgin draw that gets rerun. So
Yeah.
people who've never run London before, who are not or are affiliated
Yeah.
already, like in
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
because
yeah.
his affiliation starts in April, so it didn't count to our allocation.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to give it to someone.
And is it EA who's stopping them or us?
No, well,
Let's blame
I
EA.
can't. I actually can't. If I went in to add him as our club place, it would go,
Yeah,
he's
it
not in your
wouldn't.
club.
They're not. Oh no.
Because the affiliation, and like I say, the process is really clear. It's just that he didn't read the text above, the massive block, capital,
So
bold
basically,
text. He didn't read that.
We need to come up with something for them to do instead on that day.
Exactly.
Well, what we need, so
An
he
equivalent.
needs to do something, but the other thing we need to work out is what happened, because this has happened before with BBRC. People have won shit that they then haven't done.
Oh yeah.
Like, didn't this happen?
Like a tattoo.
They get to
Like
run
a tattoo.
and they need to finish before the official start of the marathon.
They need to finish before the official start of the
They
marathon.
start at 6 in the morning and they need to finish it before the official start.
Oh, what? Yes.
Well, ahead of the pack. Ahead
Yeah,
of the
it's
pack.
in-
That's like the reverse marathon.
That's
but
what he needs
it's
to do.
harder. You've got to start
Or he
with
gets an hour head start and he needs to finish before the winner.
But you've got to time it
to
the
beat the
exact.
elites.
But I think that individual we need to put on something
it's
quite
got-
special to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what about people that have won it, but then attempt to DNS it? There needs to be a
There's gotta be
special and
some
unusual
recompense.
punishment.
Is there a chance
that.
you won't start, Dan?
I think it's very unlikely.
That you'll start.
No. I'm going to start it, and I'll go get it done. I mean, I
Oh,
might
listen,
not
look
be
at the
able to
confidence there. Look at that.
I might be able to-
Oh, yeah.
Are we putting a time on the table?
Well, my marathon time, I think, is a little bit soft because I've never done a road marathon for time. I've only ever done marathons as training for ultras. So my PB is 3:42. So I was thinking, I'll go for 3:30.
Boom. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be in the shape to do 3 hours, no matter how much Dominic Spain might try and abuse me into being like, oh, anyone can get good for age if they try hard enough.
Anna said everything is not physical; it's all mental. So I think Dominic Spain, literally abusing you every single day, might actually get you to that 3 hours. I'm willing to try that. I'm willing to have that as a test from now until London Marathon. Abuse every single day from Dominic Spain. Will that get you there?
But are we going to sign him up for like a 10-minute phone call with me every day where he's just like screaming at me Goggins style?
Now we can see how his wife won the Thames Park.
Yeah, exactly. It works. The system works. That's it.
Can I just stick up for Stephen then? I remember when I signed up, I read all that spiel. I think on but lucky enough, I fall into it. So this year, draw me out.
That was right.
So basically said that you're shit, but please draw me out there. You did it in the wrong order there.
Just a little bit of extra detail on this, just so everybody knows. Dan, Amanda, who's here, and myself ran the London Marathon in reverse on this year's, the October run. We ran it from the finish to the start overnight, as some people do, and it's quite nice because Dan's got his place, and me and Amanda got in the public ballot.
Did you?
So it's almost like a luck.
Wow. It's the three of us. I would say we'd all run together, but he's just said 3.5 hours. And I was thinking of like jogging around, drinking beer along the route. So that might not happen.
I might change my mind.
Well, the footy is just about to start. It feels like a good time to end.
Yeah. It felt like a good time to end about an hour and a half ago, if we're honest.
It's true. We'd like to wish good luck to Anna in smashing the MDS. In Dan.
Even though she's not going to bother. She's not going to bother training. Nice. I love that level of commitment.
In CFTB in another couple of years of testosterone doping. Who else was Julius for doing a proper do-batter draw.
Just for getting his admin together, yeah, well done, yeah. It might happen.
And we have to remember the naming competition that we're now running.
Fuck you, baby.
Fuck you, oh my God. fuck you, baby. Yeah, the naming competition for Dan's little girl.
And
we don't know if it's going to be a girl or a boy. We haven't found out.
And shout out to...
Is that true?
Yeah, we didn't find out.
What the fuck were you talking about? It's a gender reveal then, right at the start. What's going on? So he just totally made that up.
I'm not sure if you caught that from Julius. He said, call him Jody, it'll work either way.
Yes.
Getting evil players.
It gets my vote.
Actually, it does get my vote. I'm that egotistical. Yeah, good name. Good name.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you want us to do this again...
Give us £200.
Give us 200 quid, yeah. Turn up.
Yeah.
It's all been expensed. I think we could get EA to expense it. I'm sure this is a BBR. We've mentioned BBRC, and we're promoting BBRC. Surely that is...
They've got the cash.
They've got the cash.
They've got the cash.
Yeah.
Two of the presidents of the club in the room.
Yeah. There we go.
Make
That's
the
a
decision.
There
surely.
we go.
Presidential rule.
Yeah, I think so. Let's do it. Put it to a vote. There we go.
Boom. And we'll all see you in Edinburgh. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck you, buddy.